Hi there, it's a quick video today on doing the upper control arm bush. I think it'd be a control arm on a Volvo S40. It's an X-Reg. So really not a difficult job to do. We'll need a bit of WD-40 to loosen up this outside edge because it gets a little bit of road grime, but you can see fairly obviously there that the bush has completely had it. Now in the back you've got two 17mm bolts, which are relatively easy to come out. Certainly if you have a decent extension that you can get in there. On the front, just one bolt through, and if memory serves it's 17 one end, 18 the other. And certainly ones I've done in the past, relatively easy to get undone. Okay, so nut off the end of that bolt. This one was particularly difficult for some reason. I think it's probably a little dirty and a little rusty. So it's always a good idea to, well, if the traffic departs, to clean the threads as well as you can. Sometimes applying a little bit of heat will also help clean the threads out a bit. And to liberally dose in WD-40. So in this case I'm going to give it another good soaking before trying to knock it through. Okay, so a small soaking time later. When knocking bolts out, it's particularly important to make sure you don't just hammer onto the end if you've got thread all the way up, as you'll end up damaging. In this one you've actually got a blind end to enable it to poke through, but if you don't, you can screw the nut on a little while so you're actually hitting there, and that will help spread it across the half a dozen threads as opposed to just beating on and peening over the end. So then it should, touch wood, be a simple case of just tapping him out, and then this one is going to fight me all the way, so I'm probably going to have to pull him out as well. So a little bit of hard work later, out it comes, and then it's just a case of just manoeuvring it so that you can actually get it out through the top there. Now you can obviously get in there and give it a pry and just pop it out the top. So there we go, out it comes, one nice shiny new one ready to be fitted. Obviously a good idea before you start fitting the other new one is make sure, clean up inside here where it's going to be trying to sit, make sure there's nothing there, clean up all the threads, make sure there's no holes, and clean up your nut and bolt and your other ones. Just to make sure wherever possible get some copper slip on them as well, which will help stopping them from seizing up should you ever have to do this job again. Usual tip before you start trying to apply the new one is give it a good spray with WD-40 or the like. It'll just help the bolt to slide through a little bit, reduce some of the pressure you'll need. Another tip for doing this one, which I probably should have mentioned earlier, is try and get the weight of the vehicle actually sat onto this arm. So I've got it sat on this jack, and that just helps take some of the twist out of it, which means you can actually move this around with relative ease. If you've got it up on one of the jacking points down here, for instance, this goes all the way down and it makes it really tight, quite a twisted angle to try and get everything done up. So what I do is start with the two in at the back, just in a couple of turns just to get everything aligned, and then if you stick a jack in under here, under the bottom of the suspension, you can just give it a couple of lifts until that just starts to line up. Then you might need to get a pry bar or something just to help tease these apart a little bit to get everything to line up, but it's not too far off normally straight up. Okay, so the bolt back through there, done up nice and tight, and then just to retighten the two back into the, I say chassis, into the body pan. So there we have, replaced, nice and that. Sometimes might be useful to give it a couple more turns on the jack to get it up, and then just double check that that's gone tight, because it may have been at a slight angle preventing it from going tight.